Okay, good afternoon once again. I want to do this as a follow-up on the other one. Because of the time I have to be very fast. Now, I want to quickly see if I can cover um, more on colon notation. Now, colon notation is very, very important in Matlab. Now, we have looked at it briefly, but let's look at it in detail. Now, colon is one of the most useful operator in Matlab. Very, very useful. It is used to create vectors, subscript array, and specify for iterations, repeated occurrence of something. Now, if you want to create a row vector containing integers from 1 to 10, you're going to write 1 column 10. You don't need to start writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just say 1 column 10. It will create a row vector from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is what you see here. Now you see this here. This is it here, and then this is it here. So this is the output that Matlab will give you. Now, if you want to specify an increment value 1 other than 1, for example, -5, increment of -5, 10 column -5 column 50. So it's going to start from 100 -5 column 50. It's going to start from 100 and decreases until it reaches 50. That is what this -5 is. That is the increment or decrement. No. Now, if you put negative, it will decrement. If you put positive, it will be increment. Okay. Now, let's take another example. 0 column pi over 8 column pi. So it's going to be incrementing with pi divided by 8 and going to arrive at that until it reaches pi. Okay. Starting from 0, this until it gets to 3.1416, which is the pi value. Now, you can use column operator to create a vector of indices to select rows, column, or element of an array. Now, this is a very, very handy tool. Now, in this table, you see we have a matrix A. Now, it's saying column, comma J. It is the jth column of A. Okay, I'm going to say example. Let me see if I can see example here. Okay, look at it here. This is an example, but let's look at them because of our time together. AI colon. This is the ith row of a column. Okay. Now, when it's the first one, it will be when it's on the first one, it's applying when the colon is first, and then it is supposed to specify, in a normal matrix, you see the row comes first, then the column second. Now, when the letter is in the column, it's talking about, it's going to look at the jth column of A. Now, this is the ith row of A because row is the first one. So, and that is, so we know we have ij. I will be row, j will be column. Can you see that? Now, when we now see this, column, comma, column is the equivalent two-dimensional array for matrices. This is the same as A. Everything that is inside the matrix of A, okay, that's the row and column has been taken care of here. Okay, when the value is in the second part, after the comma, it will be column. If the letter is in the first before the comma, it will be the row. Okay, so that's why we have A, J, column, K. A, J, column, K. Okay, this is A of J, then A is J plus 1 until it reaches A K, A, K. Okay, this is what you see. Now, when you see this, A column, comma, J to K, this is A, the joint column, and then it's going to have joint column of A, then it's going to have the J, then incrementer, then until we have the K column. Okay, and this is the kth page of three-dimensional array. Okay, this three-dimensional array. Okay, then we have this vector in a four-dimensional array, and this A column is all the elements of A, regarded as a single column. On the left hand of an assignment statement, A column fills A, preserving its shape from before, and the right case must contain the same number of elements of A. Now, let me quickly look at something here. I'm looking at, look at the example. Say A is an array of essentially a two-dimensional, let's see, 1, 2, 3, this is maybe the dimensional array. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, you can see. Now, if you want to get A column 2, this will be the second column of A. Okay. Now, what will be that? What will that be? It will be 2, 5, 8. Can you see that? So you are getting what is in the second column of it. So this can be used in matrix manipulation. Very, very handy. So, okay. When you want to get the second to third column, you specify this, you get this and this. Can you see that? Second to third, okay? When you want to get second to third row and second to third column, this one gives second and third rows, second and third column. Can you see that? So you see second and third row. This is second and third row and second and third column. So it's going to take 5, 6, 8, 9. Can you see that? 5, 6, 8, 9. Very, very simple. So you can see this is what you can do to manipulate your array with a column, and you can get things out to do when you are doing writing program. So quickly, I'm going to leave you to try other ones because of our time. Now I'm going to move to quickly. I want to move to decision making in Matlab. Decision making, very, very important. Decision making structure requires that programmers should specify one or more conditions to be evaluated or tested by the program, along with a statement or statements to be executed if the condition is determined to be true. And optionally, other statements to be executed if the condition is determined to be false. Okay. Now, following the general form of a typical decision-making structure found in most of the programming language, you have the process going to this is the testing condition here. Then you say which is false. This is the conditional code, which is if the condition is true, this is it here. Which is false, you come and do the next thing. So Matlab provides subtypes, the following types of decision-making statement. We have the if end statement. We have the if else end statement. If statement can be followed by optional else statement. Then we have if, else if, else end. So this is when you have more than conditions or more statements to be tested. Then we have nested if statement. You can use one if or else if statement inside another if or else if statement. Then we have switch, allows the variable to be tested for equality against a list of values. Then let's look at the examples because of our time. Let's click on this to look at the example. Now look at this one. This is an example here. If end statement, if expression statement will execute if the Boolean expression is true, then we'll put the statement. And look at this here. This is if condition is true, conditional code. If condition is false, go and do this. Now, this is a script. You can create this script and test it on your own, just as a way of practice. I will not have time to start Matlab because of my time. I want to cover as much I can cover in this video. Now, this is A is equal to 10. Check the condition using if statement. If A is less than 20, then if condition is written, print the following: F print A is less than 20. And F print value of A is this. This is the formatting of that. A. When you run the code, A is less than 20. Value of A. Yes, if A is equal to 10 here, because it has been supplied here. Now, if you write the one that will take input from the keyboard, then it can be testing it. And that can be a function, of course. Now, okay, so let me go back to the previous. And now let me take the else, if else statement. Now you can see this is if expression, statement, else statement, then statement will be this one. So you can see this is it. Condition, if code, then if condition is false, else code will be here before it will come out. After satisfying that, then this is another example which you can run and test. A is less than 20, value of A is 100. You can see here, this is the code here. Now, let me see whether I can access the next one. Decision making, we are still now nested. Okay, let's look at the, you can test the other one. You can access this tutorial point website and check the remaining one and see they are very, very close. You can see, so like that. The same thing with nested if. Okay, you can see nested if, then if inside, then the end must end. You must have the first end before the last end. So you can see, you can test this code and see. You will surely like it. Let me go to it. Then you have the switch. Now this is very important. Let's look at it quickly. This is a switch statement, statement for testing condition. Now you can see it will test the cases and then to switch. Switch expression, case expression statement, case expression statement. Look at this example here. Okay, to test it until, and then it will finish. So just test this code and see how it runs. My time is running. Now, let me also look at the next one, which is a nested switch. Nested switch. Nested switch is also after this case to end, and then case B will now be tested before the end. So this is a nested switch statement. Okay, look at this example here, and then you see this is the first case here, then the second case, and the end, then the end. Okay, now that is really interesting for this decision making. Now let's look at loops. I want to cover loops also. Loops is a looping. You continue to repeat something until you know the condition is met. A loop statement allows you to execute a statement or group of statements multiple times, following the general form of a loop. This is what we have here. You have conditional code here. Then you have if condition is true, to come back. If condition is false, come out of the loop. Now let's look at the example, while loop. I'll take them quickly because of my time. While loop, this is while expression statement, and then this example. While A is less than 20, F print this, A is plus, and then it will keep on printing until A is 20, then you come out of the loop. Okay. Now let me see the for loop. Executes a repetition control structure that allows you to efficiently write a loop that needs to execute a specific number of times. It must be specific. For loop, takes interval, takes step and all that. So, and for A is equal to 10, to 20, starting from 10. So A will be this until it is so to print that. The same thing here. You can create the script of this and run them and test them and see the value. This is another example here. You can run them and test the value. Okay, so let me click on the nested loop. I don't want to waste time. Nested loop, you have for m is equal to 1 to j, for n is equal to 1 to k statement, then yes. So these are nested loops. And look at the example here, 2 to 100, for I is equal to 2 to 100, and for j is equal to 2 to 100. And then you have the statement, and this, and then you have, so this is the running of the code. So I will likely stop here. My time is running, my battery is about to run out. And the other one I would have loved to look at is vectors. Vectors. We have row vector, column vector. We have done this before, but just as a way of reminding you, this is, so go through them. They will be very handy for any work we want to do, any project. We have addition and subtraction of vectors, scalar multiplication of vectors, transpose of a vector, appending vectors, vector, vector dot product, vector in space element. So just go through these examples on the tutorialpoint.com, and you will be able to run the codes there. They are very, very simple and straightforward. And I'll look at array too. Next time we'll be looking at functions. Okay, let me look at data import quickly. This is how to do data import. Okay, this is how to do data import. Example, this is it here, and then you see example of this. Okay, just go through it, and then you see example of it. These are functions for data import. Fclose, ferror, fget, fopen, so just go through them. Import data with low fscan, f, and all this. You can really get all this on the website to give you more detail on you have. And we have this also in our in the Matlab manual. Okay, so data output. Can I do this before my battery goes out? Data output, yes. This is data output. I will stop here. You can go through this. Yeah.